New York has kind of grounded me in who I am as a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
That like the way I'm doing stand up is worth the damn. So there are a lot of voices around that I'm like, but it's all like stuff that like I still go to watch. I try to go to a show last night to study because I really wanted to watch this comic. But like so you use that to inform you. You're still the one who's putting out material though.
So it's just noise, like you have to cut through the noise to find like.
Kind of. I mean, it's just everything is informative. You can. It's like reading a book. Like you take in the information and then you can believe some of it. You can, it's Reddit or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
You can believe what you want to believe. You can take use what you can, and throw out the rest.
I never really thought of. It's funny saying study stand up. Like it makes sense, but I just never thought about it in those terms. Like, is that pretty like common out here? Like where people are going show like because I would go to stand up just to be entertained. Like I don't know if I would go to like.
But it's not. You're usually not. Studying is like a thing that you have to do. Like you have to see the same person over and over again to really like figure out whatever is happening. I like last night I wanted to see Shane Gillis because I haven't seen Shane since his special came out, and he does something that I can't figure out on stage. So I just want to go and figure out what that thing is that he's doing that I'm not. I saw Tom Segura 2 weeks ago at Madison Square Garden, and I was like, "There's something like," and it was the same thing. It's like, what's he doing that I'm not doing? There's a skill set. There's an essence to him that is that makes him a much better comic than me.
Yeah.
Like where I'm focusing on one aspect of this thing, he's got something else that's happening.
So almost like a basketball player watching like NBA players. And being like, what are they like? Watching film of them to like break down what they're doing well.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's easier to you get more of an understanding of it if you see the person live.
Oh, for sure.
Because there's more you get the reaction and it's the real game. Like seeing someone live is like playing against someone, as opposed to like just watching them play.
Yeah. It like because you're in the audience yourself.
Because you're in the audience, like I look at. I was actually just writing about how like comedy is like basketball. You have to be Kyrie Irving. Like it's like there's moves that you pull, but everything is like it's a like there's a freedom to it. There's looseness to like how Kyrie plays. Like the way that if you watch Kyrie play, it's like not like there's no rigidity to it. There's a lot of times where he like dribbles he'll dribble and it looks like he's losing control of the ball, but he's the only one that knows where the ball is going.
Yeah.
Or he knows how to lose control and then like get it back before the other 9 people on the court. And I think that's what basketball is. It's like, or that's what stand up is. It's like there's moves, but in between there's this like releasing control, regaining control. There's a lot of like this is like the fucking dumb. This sounds so like I'm listening to myself talking like who the fuck is this guy?
No, I like
but there's a fluidity that you have to have while being on stage.
Yeah. I mean, I think one thing I find really interesting is there's a lot of comics that kind of go that like character route where like they're not themselves on stage, like the persona that you were just talking about. They go someone different than who they are as a person. And to me, whenever I see that, I feel like it's like putting on armor. Like you want to present yourself in a certain way so that the crowd can't like make any criticisms of you or whatever. And so like I don't want to like shit on alt comedy, but like I've seen that in like a decent amount of alt comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, when I see that, it's like they're protecting themselves. They're avoiding that criticism by like being something other than themselves. Whereas like if you're that persona, like part of what comes with that persona is flaws. Like it's not perfect, and there's things about you that you don't like, or like things about you that other people probably don't like. But being honest about that, then like elevates where you can take stuff with an audience, like because you're building that trust. And I think that's sort of that looseness that you're talking about, where like you can't take things there without giving something up. Like that two-way, it's like a friendship almost. Like I'm not going to tell you a secret if you don't tell me a secret type thing.
Well, I think this is something I've been thinking about, and I don't know if it's fully related. I've been in therapy for a long ass time, and I've just been like, oh, the way that I can get better as a comedian is through therapy, because you're not presenting your full self on stage. You're not. I mean, this is a whole other philosophical things. Like, how do you present your full self? Like, that's a conversation that is beyond this. But on stage, you're presenting a version of you, and in my mind, I'm trying to present my best version of me, not the most likable, not the most like the funniest version of me. In my mind, that's the best version of me. So how do I through therapy and through like meditation and all that, like wholeness dumb shit, you have to wellness dumb shit, that's how you get to being a better comedian. That's an experiment that I'm going through right now. Because it's not just about jokes,
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I'm just thinking, like, I don't know if that logic is like a little flawed, right? Because like I think in order to get to that place of wellness, you have to like be doing it to be well, right? Like not to be a better comic. Like it's like that kind of mind trick.
But it's also
I think it's a benefit that comes with that. But like to
so
do
my
it to
life
be
is comedy.
Okay.
I unfortunately have very little happening outside of it. So to be a better comedian is to be a better person for me.
Yeah.
Right now. Sure, like, I want to be a better person. Like, I want to be a better friend. And I want to be, like, more, practice mindfulness a little bit more in my, like, day-to-day interactions.
Isn't that kind of fucking insane, though? No offense. Like you're Wilfred, who happens to do comedy. Like, you're Wilfred, who is a comedian, but you're still Wilfred.
Sure.
And, like, in order, like, if it's comedian first versus you first, then, like, is that even you on like, and this is, like, a philosophical question, but, like, that's one of the things I've hung up on.
Who am I and all that shit is like, that's too, like, I'm not really asking that. Like, I have a sense of who I am, but it's like to define it on like a podcast or like in to anyone is like so fucking, or like on a Hinge profile or something. That's so stupid to have to like try to boil yourself down. But I guess it's hard for me to, like, I've gone through so much to pursue comedy that comedy's all that I'm like, I have other interests, and like there are things that I'm like cultivating outside of comedy, but comedy is my number one thing to focus on.